happy all day long. Wherever you go, you see happy, smiling faces all around. It is such a happy place that even the flowers seem to smile in HaPPyLaNd.
I like this story about HaPPyLaNd.
And as well as all the people being happy, all the animals in HaPPyLaNd are happy as well. If you've never seen a mouse smile, or a cat, or a dog, or even a worm, go to HaPPyLaNd.
Tell me more about HaPPyLaNd.
This is a story about someone who lived there, who happened to be called Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy was fat and round and happy.
What happened to Mr. Happy?
One day, while Mr. Happy was walking through the woods, he came across something quite unusual. There, in the trunk of one of the very tall happy trees, was a door. Not a very large door, but nevertheless a door. Certainly a door. A small, narrow, yellow door.
What did he do?
I wonder who lives here, thought Mr. Happy to himself, and he turned the knob of the small, narrow, yellow happy door. The door wasn't locked, and it swung open quite easily.
So Mr. Happy was breaking into somebody's house.
Just inside the small, narrow yellow door was a small, narrow, winding staircase leading downwards. Mr. Happy squeezed his rather large body through the rather thin doorway and began to walk downstairs. The stairs went round and round and down and down and round and down and down and round.
Did he get dizzy?
Eventually, after a long time, Mr. Happy reached the bottom of the staircase. He looked round and saw there in front of him another small, narrow door, but this one was red.
I bet you he's gonna get murdered.
Mr. Happy knocked at the door. "Who's there?" said a voice, a sad, squeaky sort of voice. "Who's there?" Mr. Happy pushed open the red door slowly, and there, sitting on a stool, was somebody who looked exactly like Mr. Happy, except he did not look happy. In fact, he looked miserable.
Why is he miserable?
"Hello," said Mr. Happy. "I'm Mr. Happy." "Oh," sniffed the person who looked like Mr. Happy, but wasn't. "Well, my name is Mr. Miserable, and I'm the most miserable person in the world." "Why are you so angry, Mr. Angry?" asked Mr. Happy. "Because I am," replied Mr. Angry. Mr. Happy thought,
I bet you there's gonna be a fight.
"How would you like to be happy like me?" asked Mr. Happy. "I'd give anything to be happy," said Mr. Angry. "But I'm so angry, I do not think I could ever be happy," added Mr. Angry.
There's gonna be a fight. There's gonna be a fight.
Mr. Happy made up his mind quickly. "Follow me," he said. "Where to?" asked Mr. Angry. "Do not argue," said Mr. Happy. and he went out through the small, narrow red door.
What'd he do, beat him up? Bet you gonna kick his ass.
Mister.
What happened?
One moment, please. Mr. Angry hesitated and then followed. Up and up the winding staircase they went. Up and round and round and up and round and round and up until they came out into the woods.
I bet you's gonna knife Mr. Happy.
Follow me, said Mr. Happy again. And they both went through the woods, back to Mr. Happy's cottage.
Oh, man, I bet you's gonna get kinky now.
Mr. Angry stayed in Mr. Happy's cottage for quite some time. And during that time, the most remarkable thing happened. Because he was living in HaPPyLaNd, Mr. Angry, ever so slowly, stopped being angry and started to be happy. His mouth stopped turning down at the corners. And ever so slowly, it started turning up at the corners. And eventually, Mr. Angry did something that he had never done before in his life.
Kill a man.
He smiled. And then he chuckled, which turned into a giggle, which became a laugh. A big, booming, hearty, huge, giant, large, enormous laugh. And Mr. Happy was so surprised that he too started to laugh. And both of them laughed and laughed. They laughed until their sides hurt and their eyes watered.
They must be stoned or something.
Mr. Angry and Mr. Happy laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed.
That must be some good stuff.
And because they were laughing so much, everyone who saw them started laughing as well. Even the birds in the trees started to laugh. And the thought of somebody calling Mr. Angry was stupid.
That's not in the book.
I know.
And that's the end of the story, except to say that if you ever feel angry, you know exactly what to do, don't you?
What?
Well, somebody wrote in the book,
Play with Mr. Happy.
Oh, that's good.
end of our story. Thank you for listening.